Hi guys, hello, hello.
How are you guys?
George and Adrianne Ruiz here. We are so excited to be back. We're so excited for 2019. And so George and I wanted to share some of our tips for success with you guys. We've been in network marketing for over 25 years, and for some of you that may be hopping on, if you're not in network marketing, that's okay too. It might not be for you, but you're welcome to stay and hear some of our tips about goal setting and what is the difference between goals versus resolutions. So George and I have been doing this for a long time. We've been together for almost, I think, 7 years now.
Right.
And it's just something that's really helped us out. And I got to tell you, we've had our times where we haven't been as clear or concise, or maybe we had more of a resolution versus a goal. And I mean, 2018 was a pretty different year for us. And I think a lot of that had to do with our lack of not really sitting down and taking the time to do those goals that year. We had a lot coming at us, a lot going on. I know we're not the only ones. Maybe you know somebody who went through some challenges in 2018. It seems like a lot of business people I've talked to have had their breakout year, or some of them did have, a little bit of a struggle in 2018, and they're back, just like we are, to reassess and to move forward in 2019. And so, George, do you want to share a little bit about the differences between goals versus resolutions?
Okay, guys, how are you? Yeah, first of all, every year we hear how people, they are doing resolutions at the end of the year. And the fact is that only, I think, 2 or 3% of the people actually, after the first 30 days, they keep working toward that resolution or goal. People, they get confusion what resolution is and a goal is. Now, if we look to the root, it seems that they are the same thing. The problem is that resolutions are like something that people say at the end of the year just to make the person, himself or herself, and make him or her feel good. Or just to tell other people, hey, I'm going to lose 45 pounds next year, or I'm going to make more money, or I'm going to stop smoking, or whatever. And by the way, those are the most common. The most common is make more money, look better, lose weight, stop smoking. And then what happens is that people don't, the reason don't take it seriously is because they don't even write it. They just talk about it. And second, they don't create a deadline or a target time. I don't like to use the word deadline, sounds kind of
Scary.
Yeah. Anyway, what I mean is that they are not creating a deadline or target when they are going to be there. They are not creating a plan, or they don't have a plan how they are going to do it. They just say, oh, I'm going to stop smoking, or I'm going to lose weight. And then what they do, they get a membership in the gym, and that's it. They go for 2 or 3 weeks, and they never go back again. I'm going to make money, but they don't have a clue what they do. And this is why it's so important, guys, to have goal setting. By the way, it's not only goal setting, it's goal setting and goal getting. In other words, you have to set the goal, and then you have to learn how to get it. Those are 2 things that also make a goal much more powerful. And then the other things that are going to. But the most important part is that you have to have a target time. It's good, especially whatever goal you have, if it's losing weight or making more money, etc., to divide, let's suppose there's a yearly goal. And those are the best because you have 1 year where you want to go. And then you can divide it in quarters or monthly period of time. Mm-hmm. Now, you can create long-term goals too, like 3 and 5 years, and those are good, but sometimes they change according to what we do on the first 12 months. Even things as simple as, oh, I wanted to live in some place, want to buy a house, and a year later, you decide there is a different place. But the goals that you have within the year are the ones that you are going to start working right now. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's buying a house, in other words, it's something that you're going to start working right now. And it's really simple. Now, you have to write the goals. It's so important. And this is really good when if you're married or boyfriend or girlfriend, do it together, because then you can have what goals you are going to achieve together. There are some maybe be the same. For example, if you want to, I don't know, some kind of spa.
Well, and we do, and we have together goals and we have individual goals. And I think that's so important too. You guys are interdependent of one another, right? You are not dependent on one another. You need to be interdependent, working with each other on your goals. And that's something that as a couple that George and I have always really worked on, making sure that not only do we have our individuals written down by quarters, the 1 year goals are so important by quarter, like George was just talking about. The 3, 5, and 10, those are long-term goals that will be adjusted based on your efforts within the year, based on your quarterly goals. And so we have a section for what are our financial goals. We kind of go through a couple different scenarios here. Financial goals, right? Business/career financial goals, okay? We have relationship goals. We have spiritual goals. We have physical fitness goals, and what else? George, help me out here.
Yeah.
Physical fitness, relationship goals, business goals, career
spiritual goals,
spiritual goals, and that's kind of the most of what we do. Oh, and travel or other, or anything else that comes up for us that could just be personal goals at that point, and could be individual goals at that point. So that's something we actually sat down and did last night as a couple, and it's just kind of fun actually. We sit down and we break it down, and we're just like, okay, how do we, what do we want 2019 to look like? And we don't just go into like what we want to accomplish, but we go into the feelings, right? The feeling of what it would feel like to have that house, or have that dream car, or have that rank advancement, right? And so you want to go with like the end of the quarter. What do you want to accomplish by the end of 2019? Like, what's the end goal? And then reverse engineer those goals back by quarter. So that's a huge secret. It's not a secret, but it's a huge tip for you guys. And really take it to heart. That can change the way that you play the game in 2019. Go all the way to the fourth quarter and work your way back.
By the way, I was looking at my cell phone to make sure that was okay, everything okay on the Facebook page. Now, something that I was going to tell you also, when you talk about a quarter, monthly, etc., be specific of what you want. Now, this is interesting. This is a working a goal setting and getting, because as soon as you write it down, that doesn't mean that you wrote it down and you forgot and you put it somewhere else. The idea is to check it out every day. And if you have to rewrite it again, even if it's the same thing, because it has been said when you rewrite again something, it seems that can happen faster. But and you are going to be adjusting sometimes, because sometimes you realize, wow, I can do this faster, or I can do this differently. But the fact is that still you have to have those goals in writing, and again, they have to be specific, and the more specific, the better. It's another reason you have to review every day, or as often as you can. It's because you can put more specificity, I think you say right. Yeah, in your goal. Yeah. For example, if it's a home that you want to live, and at first you say, oh, I want a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home in the Spanish community, and then you start adding the swimming pool, the 3-car garage, you start adding more stuff, and then you are going to use that in visualization, but that's something for something else. But again, goals have to be specific and has to be emotional. In other words, not just read the goals. They say, okay, I want to make $50,000 in the next 90 days. No, to feel it. What would you feel when you reach that goal? You don't have to wait to reach it. Start thinking right now like you're already there. And when you connect emotions and your goal, then they are easier to achieve, because you are putting also emotion. But if you just read it and memorize it, it's not the same thing. It's why you have to put emotion. It's why you have to visualize it. Because when you close your eyes at night, to think that you are doing whatever you have in your goal, or look the way that you want to look in your goal, those things are really emotional, and they help you to go more toward that goal. The other thing is that whatever goal you have, when you put emotions with it, things that are happening that make that to get to that goal easier. The people that you need start appearing, the opportunities start coming up more often, things that you didn't expect are coming into your help. It's like the universe is moving into your support.
Well, it's also that the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So when you guys think about it, when you get that feeling of having accomplished that goal, like we have a rank in our company called Gold, and when you reach that Gold rank advancement, you win a trip to the Bahamas. So I always tell the people in my organization who are going for Gold, I'm like, I want you to physically feel what it would feel like to be on that cruise ship, sitting at that unlimited buffet, right? Having drinks at night, looking out at the stars on the rooftop. What does it feel like to be in the Coco Cove, right? And sinking your feet in the sand, or having attained that, that physical fitness goal while on the beach. What does that feel like to you? Because
having a pina colada and your coconut.
Yeah.
It's
true. Yeah, it's true. And so, that's something too, that when George and I sit down and we write those goals, it's like it must evoke emotion, because emotion creates action. Emotion creates that momentum that tells you, hey, it's time to get into action, because I really want that, right? It's like, how bad do you want it? And so, you end up moving forward more towards your goals, instead of them just being a lofty idea or a good thing. No, you want to physically feel what that would feel like, and evoke emotion to the point that allows you to be motivated to take that action.
No, and get the word emotion that she said, emotions, emotion, energy behind that emotion.
Right.
It's basically what emotion means. You're putting that energy, and that's the emotion that you're putting to feel your idea with that energy that's going to get you there. And by the way, one thing that's good is to share the goals with people that you love and that support you. I'm not saying with negative people, because sometimes to negative people you say, okay, I'm going to do this and this and that. The person says, you're never going to do it. And even if we think that we are vulnerable, we have an armor against those things, sometimes those things start hitting in our head, say, whoa, that person that is a friend of mine, or supposedly a friend, is saying that there's no way that I can reach that. It's why it's better to share the goals with people that support you and believe in you. And if you're in business and network marketing, make sure with your upline and people that are working with you, because that, of course, created a lot of people around you and say, oh, yeah, we are going to do it with you. And at the same time, if your people that is in your organization, they're going to follow what you're doing too.
You want to tell the people in your life who are going to support you the most, not the ones who are going to judge or perceive it as something, hey, you didn't do that in the past, what makes you think you're going to do that now? Those type of reactions, that's probably not the best person to support you in 2019. So really create this dream team of people who you can share these goals with, and to create accountability for yourself, but also to create accountability for even them too. When you start sharing your goals and what you're doing, it empowers people to also visualize on what they want to do and helps them set up their success for 2019, because guess what? That excitement breeds more excitement. That passion breeds more passion. That enthusiasm for life, for growing and learning and moving forward can bleed out into your community. And that's really, why George and I set goals all the time, is because, we lead large organizations, and it has to start with us, right? You can't just, you gotta walk the walk and talk. You can't just talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk, right? So we always sit down and we do that. Vision boards are an absolutely incredible thing. George and I have an amazing vision board we completed for 2019. And we even look at it even a few days later once it's up. And are those images evoking emotion? If not, maybe we need to search or look for a different image, right? So, those kind of things are really good too. So make sure you guys do that. And then, as far as long-term goals, those don't change as often, right? So it's how do you want to retire, right? How do you want to be living out those last years of your life, right? What kind of a legacy do you want to leave for your family? Those are all long-term. That's 3, 5, 10-year goals. So or longer, And so the most important thing is to make sure you're getting your 1-year goals completed, the quarterly.
Yes. And the 1-year goals are so important, because that's what is setting up the basis for the long-term goals. Some people have huge long-term goals where they say that in 3 or 4 years they want to be not only totally debt-free normally, but even pay for the mortgage of their house, to have everything off, and to be making a huge amount of money, traveling all over the world. But that starts with the short-term goals, because if you don't have short-term goals to get to those places, that's not going to happen. Something that's cool is that when you do short-term goals, you go faster to the long-term goals too. It has been a saying, how do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time. By the way, we didn't say that you have to eat elephants, in case. Don't start calling that we are abusing animals or anything like that.
Oh my gosh.
But it's why short-term goals are so darn important.
So if you guys like what you heard today, please share on your pages or share with your friends who are going to be goal setting in 2019, or could use that encouragement and some good tips to start implementing that in 2019. We would love that. Like, comment, and share, and follow us, okay? Yes. We love that. And we just want to end with a quick call to action, and that is that we highly recommend it. We highly encourage you guys to set aside a minimum of 30 minutes to sit down and just brainstorm and start writing out those quarterly goals. Start with, what do I want? How do I want to feel next Christmas? How do I want to feel next New Year's Eve, right? What will I have accomplished in 2019? And then reverse engineer those goals back by quarter, and you've got to start right now, right? So you'll wish you had started right now. Don't wait another weekend. January will fly by before you know it. So make sure that this weekend you set aside 30 minutes to really hone in on what it is that you want to accomplish.
And by the way, that's your first goal. Set a goal to set goals. In 30 minutes. You say, I'm going to set a goal to set goals.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will be, we'll see you later. We'll see you online later. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.